Y'all music so loud. Hey y'all, it's me Dāsha and I'm back. Wait, hold on. Alright. Hey, I'm back and I'm gonna tell you guys a story time now in this video. But before I get into the story time, I'm gonna tell you guys about my hair and where I'm at right now. This was a twist out that I did on Sunday. Yeah, because I deep conditioned overnight, and then I did a flat twist out, and I used Minnie Marley's method, and I let it dry because the last time I did a flat twist out, it was still wet, so it puffed up more. But I like how it looks now. And I am in my dorm room. If you have not already seen my college vlogs, then you wouldn't know that yes, I'm back in school. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into this. So in like the 4th grade, yeah, the 4th grade, I had this teacher. We're gonna call her Miss B. It's not her name, and I don't want to put her name out there because who knows if she's gonna come across this video or not. So basically, she was my 4th grade teacher, and I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about my learning up until 4th grade. Now, I did pretty good. I wasn't too hot in math, and I don't too much care for math, but yeah, math has always been like a hard subject for me. So fast forward 3rd grade, my teacher, Mr. Look, we're gonna call him Mr. Look. He was a pretty good teacher, except he didn't get a chance to teach us our times tables. If you ask my mom, she'll tell you something completely different. But he didn't get a chance to teach us our times tables. So when I was going into the 4th grade, I didn't really know many of my times tables. Maybe, you know, the 1s, the 2s. But anything after that, I wasn't too much familiar with. Now, she picked on me a lot about the times tables, and then she did it in front of the class. So not only was the teacher picking on me, but the students would pick on me as well, and that was so discouraging. As what, an 8, 9, I don't know, maybe a 7-year-old. I don't know how old I was. I can't think of it right now. But that was very discouraging for me, and to have the whole class laughing at me, that was very hurtful. So yeah, I can't remember specific instances, but I can kind of play out the scenes for you guys. So one incident in particular, we were reading in class, and it went something like this.
Okay, class, we're going to read this novel. Dāsha, read this paragraph and stop at the end of the paragraph.
Okay. I'm Jenny B. Jones. B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. Sometimes I like to
get. The word is get.
I like to
Get. The word is get. Get. The word is get.
I like to get.
Now, first of all, she didn't even have to sit there and go back and forth with me about this one word. She was being very, very petty. For one, I'm from the South, so some of the things I say aren't going to be perfect. Like when I introduce myself in videos, I say, "What's up, y'all?" When I talk, I do say, "Oh, I need to go get this." I don't say, "I need to go get this." Like, I know the correct way to say a word, but I'm from an area in the United States where I talk a certain way. You know, it's not that I didn't know that there's a E in the word instead of an I, but that's just how I talk. Is going to come across like that. Just like if you're from New York, you talk a certain way. The words you say aren't going to sound the same as someone who's from Cali or someone who's from Georgia or Florida. You get my drift? So when she did that, that was so petty to me. Now I'm just looking at my phone for notes. Another incident was when my mom sent her a letter, and I can't completely remember what was in the letter. But what happened was, it was early in the morning, it was the beginning of the day, and I came in and I had the letter and I handed it to her. What she was doing was she was standing in the back of the classroom talking to a neighboring teacher. She always did this every morning. I'm guessing they were good friends. But they were always talking about stuff they weren't supposed to be talking about, like students and stuff like that. So that's up for discussion. Now, I gave her the letter and she said, oh, thank you. And the other teacher, we're going to call her Miss Honeycomb. Yeah. She looked at me and I'm like, I am like a 9-year-old child. And back then, any type of interaction with an adult that I had to initiate myself scared me tremendously. Like, it just made me so nervous on the inside. I would have sweaty palms and I'll be breathing a little harder. It made me anxious. Like, I really didn't want to do it. I still don't want to do it today, but it's not as bad as it was then. So anyway, I walked up and, you know, they stopped their conversation and both teachers looked at me. And I don't remember what I said, but I know I handed her the letter. I probably told her something, but I was talking too low for her to hear, whatever. So I handed her the letter, I sat down on my seat, and that was it. And I'm pretty sure a friend of mine was like, what did you give her? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just a letter from my mom. So she must have smelled it, and I overheard her say, what does that smell? And I'm just like, whatever. And so she told me, she was like, this smells good. And I just looked at her because I didn't know how to react. I knew I was supposed to say thank you, but you know, when adults talk to me, back then I was just so anxious. I was like, okay, you know, thank you. It was very nerve-wracking for me. Like, if you weren't my age, I wasn't comfortable talking to you or whatever. So anyway, I guess she saw me just stare at her with glazed eyes during headlights. And then she got rude about it. She said, that means it smells good. Bitch, who you bucking at? Anyway, that was one incident. Another incident, I'm gonna lead up to the big incident at the end of this video. Another incident was when we were discussing something in the class and we came up into a discussion about who takes baths and who takes showers. And so, you know, everybody was talking, and you know how everybody's talking in class and you get comfortable enough to speak. So, you know, we were talking about, oh, I take this, oh, I take that. So I felt comfortable enough to speak in class. I wasn't, you know, too nervous to speak in front of the class. Even though I had some bullies in class, and then the teacher who was acting very crazily towards me. I don't even know if crazily is a word, but anyway, the teacher was acting very crazy towards me was in the class as well. But I built up the courage and I was like, I don't take baths, but I didn't finish what I said. So everybody turned and looked at me. And I remember this one guy, I'm going to use his real name because I don't give a fuck. His name was Jeffrey. And he was like, you don't take baths? You're dirty. And I'm like, and the teacher said, you don't take baths, and what do you take, showers? And I was like, yeah, I take showers. She was like, oh, okay. You should have said that instead of saying you don't take baths. And I'm like, I mean, y'all didn't give me a chance to finish. Have you guys ever been talking to somebody and they cut you off before you can finish what you're saying? So they're judging you based on the first part of your statement, and they're just you know, having all these type of thoughts about you, all these obligations. That's what happened then. And so I was just like, oh my god, like, what? And I don't know if this was all in the same discussion, but it's related. So another time we were talking about towels or whatever, and in my household we call a towel that you wash yourself with in the shower a rag. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the South call their washcloths rags, but you don't see that in the store. It says washcloth, but I know it's a washcloth. We just call it a rag. It's another Southern thing if you're not getting it, but I'm pretty sure other places have names for it too. It all means the same thing. Anyway, so in class we're talking about it, and I say, oh, I wash myself with a rag. again, everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck, a rag? Are you poor? Are you a rag? Even the teacher looked at me like this, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to have more sense than this as an adult to know that I'm speaking of a washcloth and not a literal rag. Like, I cannot fathom this teacher as I'm sitting here rethinking about this stuff. It's making me mad all over again. Mad for little me. If I could go back, oh my gosh, I would raise so much hell at that teacher because she's acting just like the kids. The kids are looking at me crazy and whatever. Some type of way, we got that figured out, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened. It's coming back to me a little bit. I said rag, and she said, a rag? You wash yourself with a rag? I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you mean a washcloth? And I'm like, I mean, yeah. She said, well, you should say that. She's not being a good role model. Like, you are tearing me down little by little. First, you're talking about the way that I speak because of the way that I'm from. You know, I hope I'm going to use this word right, but it's a dialect in the South. When you say certain things, you have a twang in the words. The way that you speak is based on the area, you know? I mean, even when I talk to people now from other areas and they use a different word, than what people from where I'm from using, I still understand what they're saying. I know if they say pop, they're talking about soda. Or if they saying, man, that stuff's mad whack, they're saying, man, that stuff is lame, you know? I understand that, but for her to just do what she did, I have no words for her. And I truly hope she did not do this to any student after me. But on to the worst situation of all. Now, you guys remember at the very beginning of the video when I told you guys that I had an issue with math and how my 3rd grade teacher failed to, I'm going to say, go in depth with knowing your times tables, your multiplication. He basically, you know, talked about it. He was like, oh, this is your multiplication, but it was the end of the year, so he couldn't really go into depth, and we couldn't do practice with it, and I couldn't have time to learn or whatever. So I just knew of what it was. I didn't know them by heart. So me going into the 4th grade, a lot of us had to know our times tables or whatever. And we were doing math problems in class, and she figured out that I didn't know them. And I mean, it was like a field day for her. She just kept on picking on me about it. So I remember one time in particular, I was in class, and what had happened? I was in class, and we were, I don't know, she was putting something on the board, and I think she picked on me and I didn't know it, and she was like, oh, you don't know it? How do you not know your times tables? And I said, well, I didn't learn them in the 3rd grade. And she was like, well, you need to learn them. And I'm sitting there like, are you serious? But she did this in front of the entire class, so everybody in the class was just like, oh my god. And so it was always instances where she would do this, and it was even to the point where she would ask somebody what, you know, this times table was, and I don't know if I'm making this up, but I'm pretty sure she did. She was like, oh, Dāsha don't know, She went to the next person and had them answer the question, and I'm sitting there like, it's me then. It just hurt me so much. Like, it just kicked me down so much that my teacher is kicking me down because I don't know something, and I don't know if she was doing that tough love stuff. You know how some people do that reverse psychology where they say, oh, you don't know this, oh, you don't know this, and you're like, I'm gonna prove them wrong, and you learn it. I didn't know about that back then, so I'm thinking she's just putting me down, and it's just hurting me. So yeah, that would happen, and it just spiraled out of control because of that. Because I remember telling you guys I had a bully in the class named Jeffrey. When the teacher was not around, he would pick on me about that too, and that just made me feel so much worse. Like, he would say, oh, you don't know your times tables, you don't know your times tables, you don't know your times tables. To have kids in the class plus a teacher picking on you, it's only so much a student could take. And me at that age, I was very sensitive about, you know, the things that I couldn't do. I still am, but it takes a lot more for me to get emotional about it. Back then, a person picking on me about stuff, it really hurt me. I remember I went home crying, and my mom would ask me what was wrong, and I told her. Of course, she was furious about it. My mom she's that parent that goes up to the school and cusses the teacher out because, you know, they did something that was wrong to her child. She's one of those parents. And, I mean, it just wasn't right. So, I think I'm going to tell you guys about 3 incidents involving math. One of them, we were in class and, it goes back to the first time she asked me about my times tables or whatever. And I didn't know them. And Jeffrey, he got bold one day. He said, oh, you don't know your times tables, da-da-da-da. And, the teacher, she didn't really stop him from doing that. She didn't discipline him in front of class. She just let it happen. And you know, I remember the class was laughing at me at some point, but I remember I went home and I told my mom that she let that happen. And my mom either called her, sent her a note, or came up there. She did one of those. She did a lot of those 3 in that school year. But anyway, she talked to the teacher, and the teacher, after you know, hearing what my mom had to say about that, she stopped that having people pick on me in front of class, you know, because she finally saw that was wrong. I just don't understand, you as an adult, you are a grown person, not stopping it when you're seeing it happen in front of your face. Like, that was just so crazy to me. But another incident was after I had gotten so sick of them picking on me about it. I went home and I studied my times tables. I was just studying them over and over and over again. And so one day we came into class, and it was just like the scenario before. She was asking me a list of times tables, but she was saying it out of her head. And she decided to pick on me, and she was like, oh, you don't know them. And I said, I do know them. So she asked me one, I threw the answer. Everybody was like, ooh. And I was feeling myself. She asked me another one, I threw the answer out. She was like, okay. And then Jeffrey was like, looking all stupid. And then she threw like a bigger one out, and it took me a while. I couldn't get it. And she was like, you know what, good job. Keep practicing, that was good. And she clapped, and the class clapped a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I do know my times tables. So I proved her wrong for a little bit. The very last instance where she just didn't do something right. She was teaching us long division. It was either long division or long multiplication. It had to be long division because we was working with long numbers. But she was teaching us a way that wasn't typical. Like, instead of us working from left to right, she taught us to work from right to left. And a lot of the class got it, but I didn't get it. I'm pretty sure a couple more people didn't get it. And so we would have tests, and I would always get it wrong. She would always write some shit on there. And it was very discouraging. So when I brought it home, my mom was like, no, do it this way. And I'm like, but she wants us to do it this way. She's like, what way? And I showed her, and she was like, no, that's wrong. I don't know how you're going to get the answer that way. And you know how everybody learns things different ways? That's fine and cool. Some teachers say whatever way is easiest for you, do it that way. But she wanted us to do it her way. And her way was so confusing to me, I just really couldn't get it. So this is what my mom did. She went up there. She wrote problems down. She wrote some notes down because she had taught me how to do it correctly or whatever. Not correctly, but to do it an easier way so that I understand it. And you know, I got it. So she went up there because she scheduled a parent-teacher talk or whatever conference, and she brought it up there. She had her notepad, and she was like, okay, do this problem. So the teacher, she was writing the problem on the board, Miss B. She was writing the problem on the board, and she was trying to work it out, and she was like, no. Wait. Okay. And then she got the answer. she told me to do a problem. I went up there. I got her right. She was like, oh, okay. She had me do another one. And then she was like, okay, well, Dāsha, do whatever way is easiest for you. You know, because she figured I'm getting confused with the way I'm teaching. Hell, I might as well let her do whatever way is easiest for her. So, I mean, yeah, those were all the incidents I helped that teacher. In the fourth grade, I had this teacher. And I think about it now, I was recording this video a couple of weeks ago and I got a little emotional because I'm thinking about all that I went through from a teacher, an adult, picking on me. Do you know when you're in school, besides your parents and, you know, family members, some of the first role models that you have are your teachers. And for a person who is over me, who is teaching me things, who is making my mind grow, who is giving me advice, you know, who's helping me along the way, to tear me down in the way that she did, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. I want to say it's despicable, but I don't even know if I'll be using the word right. I have to look it up, but it's terrible. And me being that young, being how I was, it was so hard. I don't even know how I made it through the fourth grade because I'm pretty sure it was plenty of days that I cried about this because it hurt my feelings. That a teacher would allow students to pick on me because you were picking on me in front of the class. Like I said, a teacher is a role model. If they see you do it, they're going to feel like it's okay to do it too. I mean, I would much rather her pull me to the side and be like, to say her piece than to do it in front of the class, because public humiliation is so much worse, in my opinion, than private humiliation. But, I mean, it's whatever. You live and you learn. So, I'm so happy that I've overcome that. Oh, and I mean, it was some years that went by. I don't know if I was in high school or middle school, but I remember that I was in my mall, and we happened to go in the shoe store. And guess who was in the shoe store? Miss B. She was fitting some shoes for, I guess, her daughter or her niece or whoever. And I was over there looking at some shoes, and I saw her, and I was just like, I remember you. And she looked up, and she did a double take, and she looked at me, but she didn't acknowledge me. She didn't say hey or anything. But I know that she knew it was me. She didn't speak or anything. She just kept on doing what she was doing, and we left. And Mom said she saw you. She knew who you were. She knew. So, yeah, that's my story time about my teacher bullying me. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you guys could follow it. I tried to make sure that I said it kind of smoothly. If it jumped around, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Every time someone tells me that they watch them, I feel all warm and happy inside. So it just lets me know that I'm getting to what I want my goal is for my YouTube. So I'm really thanking you guys so much. But if you like this video, if you want to see more videos like this, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys again next week. Bye, y'all.